Tomorrow, thousands will take part in a 3-day, 60-mile journey, all to raise money for awareness for breast cancer. It's a big deal. The Susan G. Komen 3-day begins this Friday and ends on Sunday at the Washington Monument. Joining me today to talk about it is Debbi Shaffer, a 17-year survivor, and Julie Lobdell, a training walk leader and team captain. By the way, I love your outfit.
Thank you.
You can't be missed. Who designs this, by the way?
Tool.
A little bit of that.
Well, the jersey was designed by me and Lisa Cummings from Tool, who is one of our sponsors on the jersey.
I love it.
And the shoe tutus.
Yeah, don't forget. There's shoe tutus. Don't forget those. Right. Well, first I got to say it's so glad to have you with us. 17 years. That's an awesome deal.
Thank you.
You were 28 years old when you found out you had breast cancer. But you kept it a secret from your family members?
Why? It's not something that we talked about in my family. It was back in the days where people still kept silent about breast cancer. I didn't even know at the time that my grandmother was a breast cancer survivor. So
how long did you hold this secret in?
About 10 years, until I found out that some other friends had breast cancer and that, they were more far along because they hadn't gotten checked.
Were you going through chemo or any treatment during this time?
No, I was all finished with all of it.
Okay.
Oh, I went through radiation and the lumpectomy, and the whole treatment was cleared. It wasn't until 10 years after that that I finally decided I needed to come out of the closet and let my friends know, because they weren't getting checked. And the one thing I always hear when I say I'm a 17-year survivor is, you're not old enough. But I am. It doesn't age discriminate, and if it's in your family, you have to get checked.
Which is a great point. And Julie, you're holding two pictures in your hand right now because it is in your family. Who are those pictures of?
My mother, who died in February from lung cancer, but was a 25-year breast cancer survivor. And my friend Judy, who is a 15-year survivor.
Great.
I met Judy doing my very first 3-day back in 2000.
Your mother was 25-year survivor of breast cancer and then had to deal with lung cancer on top of that. It must have been very difficult for your family.
It was tough, and maybe Debbie and I were related because my mother did not tell us either.
Really?
I found out on January 2nd that she had stage 4 lung cancer, and she died on February 2nd.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. My father also died from lung and brain cancer, and when it happens quickly, and it leaves a void that sure can't be filled ever again. But this is, we're here for a good thing, and that's to raise money for this 3-day big event that so many people know about, because it brings out all people from, kids to husbands to wives to some stars, too.
Dogs.
Now, last year you had some rain. This year it looks good.
Yes. Thank you.
I know we're saying that. We'll blame it on the weather, guys. But right now, they say it's good. Now, Julie, I have to show off a little bit of stuff you've done. You've raised a lot of money for this. It says right here, since 2000, you raised more than $135,000 for breast cancer. You're working it, girl.
Actually, just with final donations last night, over $150,000.
Wow. Wow. How do you go about it? You just knocking on doors? How do you do so
I do a personal campaign originally through letters, and now with the website they give us through email. So I make what I call a polite pest out of myself. I keep people updated on my training and fundraising status, and just ask. And my company has a matching program, so my coworkers that donated to me got their donations matched, and that helps tremendously.
That is awesome. Now, you have friends, you have family that have gone through this. How has it changed you? You getting checked more often now?
I was vigilant when my mother told me she was diagnosed, which she also kept a secret because it was about the time of my wedding. I followed the prescribed, family history, first mammogram at 30, then second at 35, and when I hit 40, every year since then. And I'm religious about it, and I'm very, very adamant about encouraging others to get checked, because the mammogram my mother had saved her life. Her breast cancer was microcalcifications, the size of a grain of rice. Couldn't have been felt by a self-exam. By the time it would have been felt by a self-exam, it would have been a whole different story. She had a mastectomy, no lymph node involvement, and didn't require any follow-up care, and survived for 25 years.
Yeah. Now, Debbie, you look great.
Thank you.
How are you doing since all of this?
I'm great. I'm also vigilant about, I go for my mammogram on my birthday every year.
Do you?
I make my appointment, and that's my birthday present to myself, because I'm going to be here. for as long as I need to be here.
You know, I wanted to come full circle with, I mentioned at the beginning of this, that you were 28, which was unheard of 17 years ago. But these days, you know, I just met a woman who had a baby, and a couple years after giving birth, at 32 was diagnosed with breast cancer. And there was news last week, that's why I did the story, was that there's studies to figure out why more women after they give birth are now being diagnosed with breast cancer. And they're trying to figure out, I don't know if you read that story and how it sits with you. When you were 28, had you had any children yet?
No, my family history involves all sorts of female problems, so I was never able to have kids. So that didn't factor into mine at all. It was just family genetics.
You hear these different things and you really hope that research will get there. I know that must be the most frustrating part, because we hear things that could, you know, take us in this direction or this direction, but there's still so much work that we need to be done.
One of my teammates walks for a woman who held off her chemo for 3 months so that she could give birth.
Wow.
And, you know, so she and the baby are here, and it's, you know, she has a picture of her friend with the bald head and the baby with the bald head, and it's so moving.
I bet it is.
So
That's
that's why we do it. We need to make it out there and known, and it's not just women, it's men. Men are 1% of breast cancer, and that's growing. And I think because awareness is growing, I think they just didn't know to get checked in the past.
It's because of what you guys are doing, and good luck on the 3-day. We wish you all the best. And, you know, thanks for coming on here. And, you know, hopefully this time next year we'll know a little bit more and more money will be thrown at this.
We really appreciate you having us.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next on the show, author